Welcome to episode 45. This is an episode in November, so we are going with a thankful theme for it. So, things that we're thankful for. And in this episode, we want to invite the listeners to look inward and find what they're thankful for. If you look around, there's always something good happening in the world, even if it's hard to see. And I know things are a little weird right now, but I hate this. I hate it that we are in this. I don't know what to say. I don't want to get political, but yeah. Look inward to see what you can be thankful for, even if it's hard to see around us. So please share with us on Instagram, YouTube, or however you listen to this podcast, and let us know what you're thankful for. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Hi, Sunny.
Hi,
And
Olga.
I guess we can start by saying that we saw each other in person yesterday.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
know that.
I'm thankful for that. That was great.
Yeah, because we don't get to do that often.
Mm-mm.
I don't know why we don't get to do that often, but when it does, it's so special, and I do
Yeah.
like it.
Because we're terrible at planning.
We are.
Yeah.
Even these, we don't have a specific schedule when we record. It's kind of like, do you think you can do it this week? You think
Yeah.
you can do it this day? And
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
squeeze it in there
Yeah.
and we get it done.
In between making pancakes and yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little late now. My son eats pancakes.
So we went to, do you want to talk about what we did? We got to go to the torpedo factory.
Oh,
I think that
yes.
place is really cool.
Yeah, funny, I have never been there. And so
Yeah.
we always have to find a place that is between, we are 2 hours away from each other. So we have to like find a common ground so that we both driving about an hour. And I had no idea that Alexandria would be middle grade, because I don't understand how the map works. It
Yeah,
really
I
don't.
know. I
Like,
don't
you
either.
seem to be north of me, but Alexandria is south of where I'm at. But somehow it's an hour for you and it's an hour for me. So
I don't know.
we made it work. But yeah, so the torpedo factory, it's a gallery, but it's also an art studio that you can, like, artists rent studio space,
Yeah.
and they
How m-
sell and work in that area.
how many did it say anywhere how many artists had studios there? Because there's 3 floors. Were there about 50 on each floor or more? Do you think it's more?
Maybe a little more. And I saw some empty offices on the third floor too on
Oh,
one side.
okay.
But
It was a
what
lot.
I didn't know that it's called the torpedo factory because it used to be a torpedo factory. Like, how
Yeah.
cool is that?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah. And
So the building is right by the water and it has that industrial look, like, like metal railings, and it does look like a
yeah.
place where people would make these things. So that was pretty cool. And now it's an artist, not an artist retreat. What
Well,
is that
yeah,
called?
I
An
don't know what
artist
the term
studio.
for it would be because it's not just a studio for one artist, it's for many artists. So
Yeah.
artists
I think artists
com-
workshops and galleries and
yeah, I
oh,
guess
I don't know if it's a
community, but
commune. I have
they're
no
not, they don't
idea.
live there. I don't, yeah,
Yeah.
they all just work
It's like you
there.
rent studio space
Yeah, it's
and
cool.
then people can walk into your studio and see you working and see your work. And it's also a gallery.
Hmm.
So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't know if anybody's around in Southern Maryland, is it? No, I'm sorry, Southern Alexandria. There's the
Oh, it's
torpedo factory.
Virginia.
So
It was
cool.
in
Look,
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
All
So
right. And I gotta say, in the last couple of episodes, I have been very, for me, low energy. And I have to say, I was getting over COVID and ear infections, and then I had sinuses infections, and like I really felt tired a lot. So I don't know if it came through in the last two interviews,
I
but
don't
I was
think
like,
so.
I felt like I was super low energy. I'm coming out of those. Then it was a like weird September and August and September time.
I
But
think
here
because
we go.
your energy level is so much higher that when you're low energy, you're just about average. Like, so I don't think,
Yeah, well, I felt like I was running on one battery instead of three double A's or whatever I'm running on.
yeah.
Yeah, I felt low energy. But all right, I'm coming out of it. End of year. It's been an exhausting year. Feels like fast, so fast.
Yeah, it
It's
has gone really
so
fast.
much happening.
Yeah.
And and this like I have to acknowledge it. I can't just leave it not acknowledged. We just came out of an election, and it's it's probably it's going to be a different dynamic, and I don't know. I don't know what to expect. It's going to be a little scary. I know a lot of people are hurting, and it was a shock to most of the country. But we this is what I always say. This is not the first time, not the last time that our country has been this divided, and
True. Yeah.
somehow we managed to power through,
Yeah.
and just everybody know that we're here, we're listening, we're all on the same boat, and
Yeah. You're not alone.
yeah, yeah, and there's this too shall pass. You know, there's always a tomorrow, and we always rebuild, and one way or another, and we'll find a way
Yeah.
to keep being one country. I guess that's what I want to say, to keep being one country. And there it is. Yeah, you have to acknowledge it. It's just it was such a big thing,
Yeah.
and it
No,
felt
no.
like
Well, I think that's why
felt
it's
different this time.
important to focus on what we're thankful for right now. Try to find
Mhm.
hope and happiness in such a difficult
A
time. Yeah.
divisive time. That's what it feels
Yeah.
like. And brother against brother. And I think back in history, and there has been many times where brother has against brother, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean like brother as in the humanity of
Mm-hmm.
humans, not just men against men. Um, but yeah, we'll get through it.
Yeah.
So out of politics and into art, just a nicer area to be in. All right, Sunny, tell me one good thing that you're thankful for.
Um, this year has been for me, I've had a lot of my kids are growing and moving out and I have more kids than Olga, so the process has been longer. like, but I've been thankful that they're finding their place or they're moving on to the next steps. And then that gives me more time to focus on things that I was thinking about this recently. Like when my kids were younger, the reason I loved picture books is because I was always reading picture books with them. And that's when my love for picture books started. And then as they got older, I got more into graphic novels because we were reading graphic novels together. So they've always been a big influence on my creative interests. And now that they're older and they do their own things, it's not so much they're not influencing my now I'm like now I get to figure out, oh, what do I like? Where am I what am I interested in? Um and so that's basically this year I've been like doing a lot of exploring and figuring out where what I really like without my kids, feedback. I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling right now.
No, you said that. Yeah, I I know I started typing something. It's because I remember something. uh, it's like every step that you were with your kids, that was the outlet for your creative energy,
Yeah, yeah.
and as they move to an older age, you're kind of going like, wait, there's also YAs, and there's also something
Yeah.
else, and
Mm-hmm.
like no, you started thinking beyond the picture books.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but also just where I and this is another thing that was gonna kind of tie into my another thing I was thankful for, just being able to feed my creativity and my imagination. Before it came from just constantly reading picture books and graphic novels. And recently I've started reading adult books. And it's funny because when I was younger, I was an avid reader. Like I also like to draw, but I was always reading. And so once I had kids, I never had time to read. I would read their books, I would read to them. I never had time to read on my own. And so that got put on the back burner. And I always felt like
Mhm.
I was missing that and I wanted to get back. I've always wanted to get back into it. And so this summer, I just started reading again and I can't stop. It's almost like I'm trying to catch up on all the reading I missed over the last like 15 years. So it's been nice though. It's like a really great way for me to kind of escape and disassociate and like relax. I don't have to think about deadlines. I don't have to think about work. I don't have to think about, anything stressful. I can just escape into a book. And it has helped my mental health tremendously because my stress levels goes
Mhm.
way down when I'm reading. Like I feel so much more relaxed. Um, yeah, I don't know. I felt like it was something I was missing. And right now I'm in the phase where like I'm like voraciously reading. Like I constantly I'm so excited to
It's
have
like I haven't
discovered.
done this in years. I
Yeah,
gotta have them
like
all.
I can't stop. So I mean, I feel like I have to catch up on everything I've missed for so long. But I'm
You want
sure
to say what you're reading?
what I'm reading. I mean, I don't
You don't
know.
want to say no. So
I
her
don't
steamy,
mind.
sexy book she's reading. I'm kidding.
I'm reading it's mostly fantasy and yeah, stuff about uh elves and dragon riders and stuff like that. Some of it's YA, but most of it's adult, I would say. I don't know. Um but yeah, so yeah, so that's been a cool thing that I don't know that I've gotten into that I'm really enjoying. And the thing is that before, whenever I had spare time, um, and I worked from home, my spare time would always be work. I would not
Mhm.
give myself time to just do what I wanted to do. So I feel like I'm being a little selfish with my spare time right now, but then I'm like, well, but this is my spare time, so I should be
It's
able
your
to.
spare time.
So I
Yeah.
should be able to do this. Like I shouldn't feel bad. But
I
yeah.
know.
So
It's
that's
that conditioning that we have of like have to
yes.
give, 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 give. And it's like, no, it's okay to take some time for you. It's
And
literally your time.
but you go I've been for so many years I always felt like I had to be productive when I had spare time. Like I have to be doing something productive. If it's not like cleaning or cooking or taking care of family, I'm drawing or working. So right now just reading is to me is I mean it's good for me, but it's not producing anything. And I'm glad I feel like I'm deconditioning myself from that mentality, that go, go, go mentality,
Yeah.
which it can wear you down. And I
I think
don't want to be there.
I think that you had said, I think it was I don't know if it was last year that you said that you were tired of that grind and
Mm-hmm.
having this job. This job is taking care of your finances. So now you don't have to always be producing. It's okay that you take your free time for it to be just, hey, I just don't feel like doing anything that is going to produce anything, even though reading is producing something, but it's not something that you
Yeah.
see it and put it out there in the world or something.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to. Your job is providing for you. Before you were freelance,
Yeah.
it was and on the side. So whatever time you had, you were putting it towards producing something
Mm-hmm.
that would advance your career or,
Yeah.
put money on the table.
And I'm really bad
So
with
that's good.
boundaries. So I would
Yeah.
always, I wasn't good at setting boundaries for myself and with clients. So I was just always working. So I don't think that's healthy. It wasn't healthy for me. And that's why I got burned out.
Yeah.
But I feel better now. So yeah, I'm thankful.
That's really good. Yeah. And you took this job about a year and a half ago. We were talking yesterday. It
A
was a year and
year.
a half?
No, it was like
A little over a
August.
year.
Well, September was my year mark. Yeah. No, but it's just
Okay,
nice
one
to
year
be
and a half.
able to leave work at work and then come home and do home stuff at home. Like it's
Yeah.
really nice. And yeah, I think I needed that break. I really did.
This is good that you're showing the benefit of because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, should I quit my job and just or how do I quit my job and become just an artist? And this is how I'm making my money and this is how I'm doing everything. And you're actually showing what the benefit of having a secure job is. And then coming home, that has nothing to do with being creative, by the way.
Yeah,
And then
no.
coming home and you have your time, your creativity, and whatever, and you do or you're not do at your own pace, whatever you want to do. But so there is definitely a benefit to having a job that pays the bills. I'm going to say like a 9 to 5 job, Monday to Friday, and then the rest of the time is yours, and you use it as you please. Because when you do make the jump to being a freelancer, and that is like an artist full time, yeah, you have to also figure out how to manage your time because you can work 24/7. Literally, of
Yeah.
course. If I wake up at 3 in the morning, I pick up my iPad and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna draw. So having a schedule but to see it's very different when someone sets a schedule up for you than when you set up your own schedule.
Oh
Because then
yeah.
you cheat yourself, right? We're like, well, I'm supposed to work from 9 to 2. Okay, this is not something I'm thankful for, but I just want to jump on your thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
sure.
remember when I that those 2 years that I was like, I don't know how to do this because I was constantly driving back and forth
Yeah.
and 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 it was just like I have to be done by 2 because I have to go pick up a kid and I have to
Yeah.
be done by this time and we can record at this time. I have to have this, and I was doing a book at a time,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a constant. The times were set for me because I had to go and do something at a specific time.
Mm-hmm.
But in between, I was squeezing work wherever I could. Um, and because the deadline, like when deadlines, like now that I don't have deadlines, I'm sorry, not deadlines, but responsibilities to be at this place at this time, other than a doctor's appointment or something like that. I cheat myself all the time. I'm like, I don't, I tell myself I'm going to work until 2, and no, it's not true. I'm working until 5, and I
Yeah.
got to go grocery shop. Yeah, I'll go grocery shopping later. I'll work
It's
now.
easy.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's really easy to
it's
push
so
things
fluid.
off. Yeah, and
Yes.
keep working. Yeah.
It's very fluid. And I, yeah, that's a benefit of someone else setting up your schedule. You are working from this time to this time, and then the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the time is yours, and you decide what you do with it, as opposed to you being in charge of your own schedule. Unless you're very strict, which
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not.
not.
I don't know.
I'm terrible. I am not a good I think that's
So
it. I'm not a good boss for myself.
I'm not a good self boss.
I'm not. Yeah. Yeah.
So I am very thankful that you are in a better headspace now, and happier, a little more relaxed, and actually doing something for yourself that is fun, that you're enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, I clicked off my screen and you're gone again. I don't know why I keep doing that. And that, and hopefully that guilt will go away and you're just like, no, I am using my time. If we think about it, this is not a morbid way of thinking, but we're only here for so long. This is your life. You don't get a do-over. I mean, I don't know, maybe different, maybe I don't know. I don't know how life works, but right now it seems like we don't get a do-over. It seems like this is it. You have this time. And it's just like you have to be able to do what you want. If you have a dream, go get it. If you are burned out, go find time to fix it. It just seems rotten to just keep doing things that are not working for you just because
Yeah.
you have this feeling that you have to. You don't have to. You don't have to nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
just have to live as well as you can. Make sure you take care of your family, but also you are your family. So you have to take care of yourself as well.
Yeah.
Ah, let me see. I'm gonna go to my list. I think I'm grateful for the opportunities I got this year. Um, I should start by saying I'm grateful. My family is amazing. I have to say I have an incredibly supportive husband. Um, the kind that I say, I was thinking about going to this conference. He's like, go. Like
That's
he,
so cool.
it is really cool. It's funny. This man does not read any of my books. He has a zero. Is there anything lower than negative 100% interest in what I do? Literally,
Yeah.
he probably doesn't even know my website.
Yeah.
He does not care. if I torture him and I say, hey, can you listen to this book? He'll be like, oh, okay. You know? But if I say, there's this conference, he's like, go do it. Like he believes in
Yeah.
giving you room to make your life and be happy with it,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not something he cares about. And I do remember when we were dating, he took me to a museum and he just patiently walked the whole museum while I'm like, oh my gosh, this is lovely. Look at the brushstrokes. And he's like, yeah, okay. That's, that's love for a person, even if you don't like what they do, or even if you
Yeah.
don't care what they
You
do,
don't but you
so
don't
I
have to
do.
have all of the same interests. I think that
No,
keeps things
yeah.
interesting too. So yeah,
Yeah, but you still want to, see that person
supportive.
succeed or what they
Yeah.
do. So he's very supportive, and I am very grateful for that. And my kids are the beautiful people, and I am at this stage where I've seen them grow now, and it's just like, okay, you molded these little humans in a way that you gave them all the information you could to make them independent, and
Yeah.
survive out in the world without needing you to hold them up and like fix everything for them. Like that's the whole point of being a mother, of parenthood.
Yeah.
Prepare these humans to be out there without you.
Yeah.
And then I'm in that stage where I'm like, okay, now you gotta let go. And then,
Mm,
my son is now leaving the nest, I would say. He's my
yeah.
last one. Um, and it's very difficult to it's a combination of emotions that you're happy, you're proud, you're excited. I'm actually excited to see him start his life.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, seeing her how she progresses in her university, but then also the letting go and then waking up in the morning. I'm like, okay, nobody's texted me, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like it's you're always worried, like should
Yeah.
I make myself available just in case? And now figuring out what to do with the time. So this is a lovely time. I got advice from one of my cousins that said, "This is you have a window here in the time because everything in life is stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a window when your children leave the nest. Let's just say they leave home to start their independent lives. And independent, with the you're still there, but you're not there to
Yeah.
wash their bottoms. You know what I mean? You're there you're there to like call me if you need me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and between the time that they leave until they come back with grandkids and but there's this big gap, and that is the gap that you want to take advantage of, because that's your time. Literally, you decide what you're going to do with your time. So I want to make the most of it and hopefully go into it with good health if I can. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the support that I have from my family and where it is now, and that I feel strong enough, energetic enough with three AA batteries to to make this stage of my life as productive, where you don't want to be productive. I want to be productive because I'm like, I waited all this time to be able to do it. And it's something I really, truly, truly love and want. And I want to go get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to take advantage of this I don't know how long it is, this what do you call it, this space and time that I have now, because you never know what tomorrow I fall down, from the stairs on a banana and I'm dead.
Or you
So
might
today I
you might
have
be
today.
holding on to a goat and then your hand breaks.
Or I might be, yes, or my hand breaks. I know. Yeah. If last year was anything, don't trust tomorrow. You have today. So yeah, that was crazy. Speaking
Uh,
of that, I have to start training my left hand because sometimes my right hand hurts, like a
oh,
carpal tunnel.
yeah.
And I'm like, what do I do if I can't draw? What do I do if I can't do these things? So I'm
Yeah.
like, I gotta start drawing with my left hand. I got two for a reason. Train the other one too, just in case. Although I say, if I lose both of my hands, I'll be picking up a brush with my toes, and I'll be the person. I will do it. Anyway, yes. So grateful for the family and for the support that I've gotten. That's huge. So it is huge because you can do this on your own, but it's so much easier when you have support from the people that need you and that are there for you. So I'm incredibly thankful that I can do this where I'm at.
Hmm.
Do you have another next one, or
I
do we
kind of
have?
covered a couple of mine already, but one of the things I was gonna say, I don't know if I wrote it here. I kind of wrote it in some of them, but just that even though I'm kind of taking a step back and I'm kind of resetting or whatever, relaxing, whatever. I am so grateful that I can still be part of this community, and still have art friends and still have this podcast that keeps me still connected. Because it would be really, I think it would be easier just to, I mean, not easier, but if I didn't have this, I could totally see just burying myself in my new job and reading and not having a connection with this. It might just disappear, or it might not have I might lose the interest or the drive. So I am grateful that I have friends who keep me connected, and I can still talk about art and be happy for their journey. And yeah, it just keeps me going, and I can rejoice in their stories and their successes. Um, Really, that's it, I think.
I doubt very much that it will go away.
No,
You've
but I
been a
mean, it would be
creative
really
person
easy
your
to put
whole
it on a
life.
back burner for another
Yes,
few years.
another 20 years.
Well,
I know what you mean, but
especially when my
the
kids are
whole time,
still getting out of high school. You know what I mean? I'm still in that busy stage where we're driving people places and it's still busy after work. So it's like, yeah, yeah,
I think yeah, in a couple of years you'll have all that time, and then you'll get
yeah.
back in it. The whole time that you had your children and you're incredibly busy, 4 kids, um, you were still creative. So I
Oh,
don't think that
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
gonna stay. That's who
yeah,
you are as a person. Now, how you use it, that will be later on when you'll figure out. I think I told you that it felt like you were deconstructing
yeah,
yourself before you
yeah,
build yourself back in a different way, and
yeah.
we tied it to work. Like so there was a time that I was changing the way I was drawing. Remember I
Mm-hmm.
told you, and it it became this thing that everything I was painting, it was bad. Like I didn't like it, and I was like, what is happening to me? Am I
Yeah.
forgetting how to do this? Is I think I was deconstructing in order to jump to the other side where I learned a different style, because this is where I wanted to go, but I didn't know how to get there. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's what was happening to you, that you were deconstructing so that you can construct again, especially now that even the things that you're reading is different than,
Yeah. Well, and
and
I
you
just
have mentioned
feel,
that you
yeah,
might write.
I feel like my inspiration is changing and it's affecting everything.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like before, my inspiration used to be family and my children. And now that I don't like, so now I'm finding other ways to inspire myself and keep yeah, yeah.
Okay, let me go with a huge thing that happened that I'm grateful for. Uh, Actually, I'm going to tie these two together. So I'm grateful for the failures. And I know that that sounds so like, oh, yes, it's very easy to say. Yes, it's very easy to say after, not at the moment. At the moment, every failure, it hurts too much. You can't see it. I mean, I have written so many books and so many dummies that I thought were great at the time and didn't go anywhere with them. And now I know why they didn't go anywhere. And I'm like, oh, I see. This is what I was doing wrong. But you can't see it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am grateful for those because when I see them, I'm like, oh, okay, I have learned something from all of these years. And it makes me wonder what I will learn in 10 years, what I don't know now,
Yeah.
because that's the whole point of keep improving and keep learning. So I put here for the stories that didn't work out and the stuff that I learned from them, the illustrations that I didn't finish. You would not believe how many illustrations I have that are not finished, that I got into it, and I'm grateful that now I keep pushing past that ugly middle because I still, it still happens. It still to this day keeps happening that I'm illustrating something that I see in my head and I'm like, this is exactly how I want it to look like. But halfway through it, it doesn't look like that. And it's falling apart on me. And I don't know why. And and I'm like, well, I can quit or I can keep trying a little longer and see if I can fix it. And sure enough, it comes out like when you're 3/4 in, it's like it's looking exactly what I was trying to do. This is, so I just had to get past that ugly middle. But that's something that many times I didn't do, and I had many unfinished things that I just didn't push through to see. So failure is not always a bad thing, and I am grateful that now with age and more experience, I can see that they were good. They needed to happen for me to move to the other part where you learn something. Um, so part of that failure when I really always thought I was going to go into animation, right? And it was like animation and Disney, and that's where I'm headed. Like, and because I had this very narrow focus road, as I was going to school for that, and then the animation studio in Orlando closed, and they started kind of going into computer animation more than traditional, and the jobs were kind of going away. It was a moment that I was like, oh, what now? Because I
That was
cannot
kind
put
of
all my
a
eggs
that
in
was
one
a
basket.
scary time, or a
Yeah.
unstable time for animators. Yeah.
Imagine for the ones that already had jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine for the ones that are trying to get there. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. um, so, and at the same time, all the illustration that we were learning was for editorial. And of course, we would do figure drawing was a heavy emphasis on figure drawing and gesture so that you could go into the animation, traditional animation. Like you got to draw the human body. So, um, a, a few years after that, editorial kind of went down. Like the jobs for newspapers got very small. Um, so and it took me many years to find this, but I am so grateful that I found the world of books, like Kidlit. I didn't know this world even existed. This is what's weird. I would read books, but I never for a second thought, oh, somebody drew that. It's like somebody drew the pattern on this shirt that I'm wearing. Like this stuff you don't think
Yeah.
about. You're just like, oh, it's just there. But there's always someone who made that. But I was so focused on animation that I didn't think, what else could there be? What else can I use these skills for? So I am incredibly thankful that I found this because on top of it, I liked it. I love it. I really love, like, this doesn't sound right, but I even love the failures of it. The going into submission and waiting for a yes or a no. It's probably a sick feeling, but I like the not knowing and oh, it was a close one. Oh, this one they liked it, but it wasn't quite. There's a rush in there too, like a rush feeling. I don't know what that would be called. You know that
Mm.
feeling, right?
Adrenaline,
When you're, I guess it's
like
adrenaline.
gambling. It's kind of like
Like,
gambling.
yeah, it's like I have a gambling problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, like gambling, like you don't know,
because
like
it's
yeah, like playing
really,
the lottery or something.
yeah,
It's like
and really those are the same odds that you get when you gamble. Like, might work out, might not.
am I not? No, because and then like you fix it. Okay, no, I love puzzles. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really like putting puzzles together. Like once a year, I put a puzzle on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop doing that last year because I get obsessive about putting the puzzle together.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I'm there and then I won't work. I won't do anything. And I'm
yeah,
just sitting there because I have to put this puzzle together.
yeah,
I have to finish it.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I really get sucked in into doing
I don't
puzzles
know if I
together.
told you about, but I think I told you. My grandpa always had in the basement, he always had a puzzle table that
Yeah,
he would,
I love that.
yeah, which was really cool because no matter when you came over, you don't know which puzzle he, if he finished one, then it'll be a new one, but you could always just run in there and like work on it, which was really
Oh, I love
cool. So I
that.
grew up always running downstairs to get on work on his puzzle table. Yeah, he always
Oh,
had one. That was yeah. No,
see,
puzzles are fun.
I
You
should
should
find a table where I
yeah
can keep the puzzle,
yeah.
because the reason why I only put it once a year is because it's a dining room table that we
Oh
have to
yeah
eat,
yeah. And then you
and then I
can't
have the
do
puzzle.
anything until it's done.
So this last one, I didn't have a chance to do it,
Yeah.
and okay, and I love nutcrackers. I have this like all my
Oh
house for Christmas. I decorate with nutcrackers.
yeah.
So
You
I
even
did a
have a
puzzle of
giant six
nutcrackers.
foot. Don't you have like a six
I
foot
do.
nutcracker?
Yes, I found it in a yard sale. It was it was so cheap because it wasn't, they were getting rid of it. And
Yeah.
I had a couple of friends of mine carrying this giant thing into the van. So my husband sees it. He's like, "What?" I'm like, I can't, I don't know what happened. It just jumped into my van.
Yeah, he's part of
Anyway,
our
yeah,
family now.
he is. Every Christmas he sits right by the door. And it is. You walk in and he towers over there. Um but I did this puzzle of nutcrackers, and it's so hard. It's so hard
Oh
because this one, yeah, and I keep I'm increasing the difficulty. So I do
yeah
1,000 piece puzzle, right?
yeah.
But these puzzle pieces are not your typical pieces. Like
Oh
any piece could fit there. Like they're
oh.
so, it
Those
was
are
so hard,
hard.
and
Those are
it beat me this year. I couldn't do it in the time that I give myself to do these
yeah
puzzles, because of course we have to also time it. Like it's
yeah.
ridiculous. Mainly because I had to take it off the table. But so I put it on a card, like a cardboard, and then I slid it under the couch, and
Oh
it's
yeah
still
yeah
there.
yeah.
You
Oh
know, living with us, buddies. I mean, I vacuum around it. I
ah,
hopefully I didn't vacuum any puzzle pieces, but
oh. You
I
know
want to
they
take it out this
have
year
things
again.
you can put it on that will you can
Yes,
store it in and then roll it like kind of roll it up like
yes.
a
I
yeah
like a mat.
yeah. They have a puzzle mat you can
Yeah,
put it on.
I
Yeah
have seen that. What I would like is to have a table where I can keep, like your
yeah
grandpa, that I can
yeah
keep the puzzle out and not have to
yeah
take it out every time and then roll it up. But
yeah
because sometimes you just pass by and you just want
yeah.
to, just
Just
you
work on
just
a
get
couple
intrigued, or you
pieces.
feel,
Yeah
yeah. And
yeah
I think that would be my thing if I can
yeah.
figure out, well, now we don't need the table, the big table so much. So maybe
Uh,
I can keep one side for puzzles. I don't know. I don't know how we got into puzzles, but I don't know how we got into
I
this.
don't know either. It's okay.
Oh, I can't remember now. I've made the connection.
Drawing. Yeah.
Because I like that. I like putting puzzles together.
Oh yeah.
Going on submission and rewriting, or when they ask you for edits,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a challenge. It's like, okay, that didn't work. Then let me
Yeah.
try this. And then you try different pieces and you try
Yeah.
to. So that book that got picked up, I have a book that got picked up, is probably going to come out in the 2026. I rewrote that 7 times.
Yeah,
And when
that
I don't
one.
mean I rewrote it, I completely dismantled the pieces, and it was a different book. Like we went
Mhm.
from different plots, different point perspectives, a dual plot happening at the same time. It
Yeah,
just,
two
I tried
stories in
different
one. Yeah.
ways. Yes, and it got picked up, ironically. And let this be something someone hears. The version that got picked up is very similar to the first version that I did,
Of course.
but by a complete different publisher. So
Yeah.
hear that. Try everything. It might be the first piece that you picked up. Just
Yeah.
have to kind of flip it and let's just look around, and then it fits.
Yeah.
You just don't know. It has to be the right publisher at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a weird place. Like that, I like that challenge. So um I am very grateful for finding Kidlit and finding the whole book industry and how it works, because I thoroughly enjoy it. Like it doesn't feel like work to me. It feels like I'm just doing the thing that I like to do. Um so I'm kind of happy, glad, thankful now that I didn't end up in animation, that I
Hmm.
didn't end up in an industry that maybe I wouldn't have quit, that maybe I would have stayed there. It's a different thing, and maybe, who knows, you never know. So there's no point in re-guessing your backstory, because
Mhm.
it is what brought you to this point. So any failures that you had in the back, be grateful for them, because it's what made you and put you where you're at now. So that's what I'm grateful for, my failures. That was a very long round way of saying of, of explaining that I'm grateful for my failures. You got anything else you want to say on that one?
Um,
Your side?
um,
Because we're
yeah.
jumping from my list to your list.
My list was not as long as your list. I'm still great. I'm thankful for things. It was just hard to think of things. But one of the things I haven't mentioned is I'm thankful for the interviews we do. I really
Oh yeah.
enjoy talking to other professionals and just hearing their story, but also hearing their process about their process, and how books, how long it took them to get them published, but also how, where their inspirations come from, because every single person every author, every illustrator, their story is totally different. There are sometimes there's similarities, but it's really fun to meet these people and hear their stories. And yeah, so that's one thing I'm thankful for.
Yeah. And hopefully we're looking at future interviews, and hopefully we
Yeah,
can land these.
I do appreciate not last year we had a lot, and that was, I think we this year we cut back, and I think it was fine. Like, they're fun
Yeah.
every once in a while, but yeah, they take a lot of coordinating, so
Yes.
a lot of
And
work.
we're trying to figure this out. Um it has been like a diary of our journey on this. And we have been
Yeah,
very honest with what works, what hasn't worked, how we've done it, and any roadblocks that we have found ourselves in.
yeah,
And at times it feels like it's more than just an illustration podcast. We talk about real life, and that's when
yeah.
we do get comments are usually about, hey, your honesty, touch me. I feel like I relate to this because I'm going through the same thing. Or
Hmm.
um so yes,
Actually,
interviews are great, and I want to bring them.
yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
another thing I think we're both thankful for is our listeners, because we get some of the
Yeah.
sweetest comments and messages, and um yeah, it keeps us going, but it also makes us feel like, oh, okay, maybe we are making a difference, or people
Yes. There's
some
a lot
kind
of
of
times that we're like,
benefit.
should we continue this? And then yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few messages we get. But and there's one person, and you know who you are. I'm not gonna say your name because I don't even know if I can say your name, but you know who you are, because we're your fairy godmother. So if you hear this, you know that we got your message. And
Yeah, it was
and
so
I
sweet.
changed it to fairy art mothers. Super sweet. And yeah, shout out to you. I don't know if you want to be mentioned, but yeah, you're gonna get a message from us soon. It's lovely to get these messages. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
Um, so shout out to that special person out there. Okay, let me see. Let me go back to the list. Oh my gosh, I have to talk about this. I know,
I
I
know,
know.
I'm
All
waiting.
right. I know, I know. Okay. I'm grateful for being a little bit braver. And this, gosh, if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, or if this is your first time, go back a few episodes where I said you have to be brave for, like, I think it was a 20 seconds or 30 seconds of
15 seconds
bravery
of
can
bravery,
change
I
your
think
life.
is what
15
you said.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yes, 15 seconds of bravery. Okay. Literally, just buckle down and be brave for just a little bit. And amazing things happen, right? So I I chuck this to old age. I'm 50 years old, and I am proud to be 50. Like, seriously, people are like, oh, don't call me. No, no, I'm 50, and I've earned every single one of these 50 years. You give them to me. I'm
Yeah.
freaking 50 years old, and I am loving this.
Yeah.
So it has taken me this long to be this brave. And I don't know what it is. It's like you do get to a point in your life and you're like, you know what? F it. I can't say that on your thing. I know. So F it and just try it anyway. I went to New York for the first time by myself. I've never been to New York.
Yay.
And I've and you understand I live in the country where there's squirrels and deer and stuff like that. Oh my gosh, New York is different.
Well, you've been to
But more,
DC. So would you say New York
yes.
is different from DC?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
very different from
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot. Well, I went to Soho, which
Yeah.
from what I hear is like right there in the
Yeah.
middle of everything.
Yeah.
It was a shock. But um I went by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's on top of something else. So I do have to say, and this is, oh gosh. All right. We are very honest in this podcast. I know I'm like, ooh, because there's a few feelings that bubbled up as I thought of this thought. We have always had our journey together. We started this together. We we were like, go, 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 pushing each other, and it was always like side by side.
Yeah.
And last year, when you started the job and you closed your graphic design and your illustration and you put
I
everything on
didn't
hold and
close
you
the
you the
illustration, just
no, no,
graphic
no, no, you
design.
didn't close the graphic design, but
Yeah.
you went on hiatus
Yeah.
in this world for a minute because you needed to do it and you were this is not a guilt trip at
But
all in any
I
way.
closed the graphic design website, but I didn't close my
Yes.
illustration website. Yeah.
No, yeah, yeah, no, that's still
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
I'm saying you went on hiatus, kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
let's regroup because you were
Yeah.
starting the job and all that. So I was like, okay. And then my buddy is not running
Yeah.
with me anymore. So if it had a moment that I was like, I gotta do
Yeah.
this alone. Like that's it.
I
And
think
that is part of life.
it
It
was
is
even hard because you couldn't text me anytime. I mean, you could, but I couldn't
yeah.
get back to you right away. I remember in the beginning, you would be like, you're texting me, and then I can't get to it for hours till hours later. And you were like, "Where I miss you, Sunny. Where are
I miss
you?"
you.
Yeah, I know.
So
I
it's
felt
true, it's part
bad.
of life. And no, but there is no guilt. There is absolutely no guilt. You
I'm
have my
still
support a
here.
1000%. But I had to figure out that it's like, okay, you're on a road and you have to keep going
Mhm.
regardless. I mean, if this is what you want, I want to keep going on this road, so I have to keep going. And I will get you, I will catch you on the bend whenever you're join at. I'm right there, but I have to keep going to these things, right? It's like even if my buddy is not able to be next to me at that moment.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, well, time to grow up. Okay, Maria. That's what I said to myself. You just have to do it on your own now. And I so I went to what is this called? Hold on. Latinx Storytellers Conference. The name is a little funky. Um it was a huge conference at Scholastic's headquarters.
Wow.
Opened, I know, right?
Yeah.
Opening an opportunity for Latin creators, storytellers, illustrators, authors. And it was incredibly amazing. The industry opened up its doors and he let us have the conference at their headquarters, which was
Yeah.
I'm standing there next to Captain Underpants and Clifford the Red Dog. It was just very cool.
Yeah.
In New York, and there were lunches at different
Publishing
agencies
houses?
and publishing
Oh,
houses. So you
okay.
could choose to have lunch at Penguin Random House or Hachette. I went to Hachette,
Mm.
which I understand now is called Hachette and not Hatchet. So
Oh.
just so you know, it's Hachette. They corrected us there, but they hear that all the time. So Hachette Publishing, and and I had lunch there, and then they had a panel with the editor, art director, the publicist, and marketing team, like opened to
Yeah.
ask me any questions. So it was incredible, incredible. I came back from that fueled
Mhm.
by, like I kept saying, I've gone to other smaller conferences and I learned how to write. I feel
Mhm.
like in this conference I learned the why. like it just clicked. And I met lovely authors and illustrators, and we created groups to try to keep pushing each other's and critique groups. And I was missing that because we remember a couple of years back, we had to quit all our critique groups because our plate kept getting fuller and fuller, and I couldn't handle. Now my plate is getting emptier and emptier, so I
Yeah.
can put things back in. So I have now a critique group, and aiming for middle grade, which I am starting to tiptoe into those waters to write middle grade. I have a long way to learn. Like, but I figured if I learn to do picture books, and then I'm gonna learn to do middle grade, and then maybe I'll learn to do YA later. I don't know, but it is a skill. Writing is a skill that you learn, just like illustration is a skill. So
Yeah.
just learn something new. So anyway, so I got on a train. I always travel with my husband. Like he's, because I'm a little anxious and shy. If you remember back, I went to my first workshop with a broken foot, and my husband went with me, and I'm not a confident driver, so he usually drives me, and he takes the time and goes with me. This time I just did it by myself, and I couldn't believe it.
And you took a train, right?
And I took a
Yeah.
train by myself. I'm like, that's, to someone else listening this might be like, so what? To me, it was scary. To me, it was overwhelming, and I just did it. Put on your headphones and put some music on and write and do whatever you want, but do it. And this is how, like I said, maybe someone else will be like, that's not a big deal, but to me it was. I had never taken a lift, like those Uber drives and
Oh
lifts
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
app. I didn't even try to figure out how to do it before getting to New York, which
Oh.
probably I should have. I just downloaded the app. That's it. Because and I get advice from people, and they're like, oh, you should do this, I should do that. But it overwhelms me, and it puts me in a state of like, I'm scared. So I just didn't. I just like, I will figure it out. And deep down inside, I knew I would figure it out. It was like you get to trust yourself a little bit more. I'm like, okay, hold on. 100% of the times that I have done everything in my last 50 years, I have gotten through it. I have figured it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll figure it out, right?
Mhm.
Have you not figured out everything that was figure outable in your life up to this point?
Yeah.
You really have, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if something didn't work out, you figured out a way to fix it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, I'll figure it out. So I got on the train and went to this conference. And the only moment that I got a little bit nervous is when I actually arrived in New York, because it was so different. There were
Mm.
smells and sounds and things that you're not used to, and you don't realize how different it is, because you have heard on the phone here, we're having a conversation and you hear a million birds, because it's like crickets
Yeah.
and birds, and you have been like, are you in a park? I go, no, I'm in the backyard. We have trees.
Yeah.
New York has its own sounds and they're not birds. It's like it was honking and construction and people, and it was a lot, and it felt overwhelming at that moment.
Yeah. I could see
um
that.
yes, and smells and things that I wasn't used to, and I was like, okay, I'm out of the train, and literally I have to figure out how to take a lift. Like, okay, let's open that up and figure it out. And it was fine. The driver was there. Like I did do a little bit of research. I said, who are you here for? So they have to wait until they say my name. I check that the license plate is the same. I get in there and all that. So I took my first lift
And you
at
didn't get
age
kidnapped.
50. And I didn't get kidnapped. Well, at this age and at this, no one's going to kidnap me. They're going to return me. They're going to say, please, I've made a mistake. And after they know that I have 3 AA batteries and I go this fast, they're going to say, lady, please, where can I drop you off? So you stop talking to me. They're gonna say, I've made a mistake by kidnapping you. So it was amazing. I an amazing experience. Then I walked around. The first day I walked around by myself with the phone. Thank God. I'm very grateful for these things. The phone that tells you which way to go. And I'm
Yeah.
like, make a right, make a left. And the whole time I'm looking at this, and got a place to eat lunch somewhere. I did tell my husband, hey, okay, I'm here. I'm going to find lunch. And he's like, I go, I don't know where to eat. I'm just going to have a hot dog or something from the street. He goes, no, don't have a hot dog the day before you're when you don't know, go eat at a restaurant. I was like, oh yeah, probably right. But just, too many experiences all at once, So it was fantastic. The first few days, the honking wouldn't stop, even at night. And I'm like, when does this city go to sleep? It's just sleep. It doesn't stop. You know what? I put tissue paper in my ears and
Oh,
I went to sleep and I figured it out. Woke up the next day super tired but excited. And I have two nieces that live there, and they were like, "No, Tia, it's okay." Tia means aunt. Tia, it's okay. You're in Soho. We're gonna take you to Central Park later on. I go, I need to hug a tree.
oh.
I need to see a tree, please. It was a lot. It was a lot. They're like, "No, after the conference, we're gonna take you," and they took me to the Met. Oh my
Oh, yeah,
gosh,
that's so cool.
it was. I don't go to museums often enough.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to a museum, my gosh, I have
You mean an
forgotten.
art museum, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the Metropolitan and
Because
Art
there are
Museum.
many kinds of museums.
True, true.
They're
Yes.
all good, but yeah, art
Hmm.
museums are the
So
best.
going on museums, when my kids were little, we would
Yeah.
mainly go to the Natural Museum of
Natural
History, and
history.
yeah,
Yeah.
you see the dinosaur bones and things like that, and that's really
Yeah.
cool. The last time that I went to a museum was when I was dating my husband. So
Oh, really? I didn't
23
know it
years
had been
ago.
that long. Oh my
No,
goodness.
baby. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
did
didn't
go.
even when I was working at the art gallery, you never.
I never went there. You're 2 hours
Yeah.
away though.
Yeah, sorry.
And it's just DC is a good hour away and the metro's
Yeah.
not that good. And it's like, okay, what do I want to walk the museum by myself? Which maybe I
No,
should.
we can meet
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's our
Yes.
next thing we
That's
need
it.
to do. We
We
need to
need to
meet
go
and
to an
go.
art museum. We should get a record right after going to the museum. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah.
So I have this amazing love passion with impressionist paintings.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk right by the Renaissance and I'll be like, it's just brown blurs going past my. I don't nothing
Yeah.
stops me. But when I get to the impressionist
Yeah.
section,
Yeah.
I don't know what happens to me there. I am just seeing the paint and the thick
Yeah.
blobs of paint that you put one next to the other. It just turns me on completely. Like my whole focus is there. I am in
Yeah.
there, and I want to literally jump into the painting. I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And I can see the value that they use. And like, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You have all this splats of color, but if you squint, you can see the value that they
Mm-hmm.
use. And it's amazing. I am blown away. I think for me, they are the most amazing artists
Yeah, they're
because
my
there's so much
favorite too.
expression in there. It's incredible. So it it revived me. And yeah, I left New York super grateful for being there and and understanding the city, the whole potential that it has. Because at the beginning I was like, I don't think I like to be here. I want to go home. I felt very
Yeah,
overwhelming.
you texted me. You said, "Oh, it's so
Yes,
loud. There's so many
it's
horns honking."
it was so loud. And I said, it smells like pata sucia. It smells like dirty feet. It did. I mean, there were trash bins everywhere.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Central Park doesn't smell like that, but where I landed and in
Yeah.
Soho, where it was a little dirty. Um, it was a lot, but I
Yeah.
understand, and then like seeing the perspective from like my nieces are like, there's like I forget what the statistics were. They're like 2 million people living in this in like 3 miles or something. I was like, I
Yeah.
understand, and those statistics are probably wrong. I'm just throwing numbers out there, but I understand it feels like a city where anything can happen, where you can do anything. So I left excited and wanting to go back. So that was an amazing opportunity, and I'm incredibly grateful. But you understand, there was a time that I would not have taken that chance.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said, I think we had an episode that says say yes. I wouldn't have said yes.
Yeah. When you don't think you're ready. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel ready now. Like I'm hoping to go to SCBWI New York big conference, which was one that I never felt ready for. Now it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do this. Yeah, there's a reason why getting old is good. What did I say? Like, I wish I knew what I know now
Yeah.
back then, back when, your muscles didn't hurt. So yeah, that's on me. Um, anything, let me see. I know I went off and I forgot my list and I'm supposed to be looking at a list.
I'm looking and I think you covered most of what you just now.
Yeah. Oh, and this one. And I do have one more thing to say. Okay. Part of this, things that we are thankful for that we have learned, and I over preparing kills joy. There is definitely something you have to do to prepare for conferences, for a sketch, for a meeting with someone. Absolutely. You do have to prepare. But over preparing, which is what I used to do, and I used to do it because I'm an anxious person, was killing the joy. And then you just stress over something that's going to happen 2 weeks later. You're stressing for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And then you're stressing through the conference or through the meeting or through the phone call with the editor or whatever it may be. And then you're stressing after because now you're thinking about everything that didn't go as you planned.
Yeah.
I don't know. That went away. I don't know when, but it has
Yeah.
gotten better. I plan just as long as I need to plan now.
I think it was in the sometime in the middle of this podcast.
Yes. Yeah, something clicked.
Because the first year we over prepared constantly.
Hmm.
And then after that, we just kind of stopped.
Yeah, I think if I have any advice for anyone that would come to me and say, "What do you recommend?" I will say, do something scary. Do
Mhm.
something that really, truly scares you.
Yeah.
It not something stupid and dangerous. I'm not, don't, read into it. Do something scary that scares you, that matters to you. It's
Mhm.
amazing when you realize on the other side that things didn't go as bad as you expected them to go. Um, and that you got through it. It was fine. It wasn't
Yeah.
as bad. It's not gonna be perfect, and be okay with things not being perfect. And I think it does help you. So don't over prepare, don't over plan, because it does kill the joy of the excitement of what you're gonna do.
Mhm.
And here's my last one, and I'm gonna go before you when I say this. I'm grateful for you.
Oh,
I'm incredibly grateful for our friendship. Oh, yeah, see, emotions are going to
I'm
come
not
up.
gonna cry.
I got a little bit misty eye there. All right. No, incredibly grateful for you, for your friendship, for that our friendship has evolved way past on our journey.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you're like my sister. I can text
Oh,
you when I oh, see, this is when you have to stop listening because I'm gonna start crying. And I
just
don't think we can edit
don't
this.
watch the videos.
Don't watch a video. There's like misty eyes. To get to the point that you have someone that you can text. You can, even if they're not going, like, this is what's funny. Even if they are not next to you, have a person in your life that you can text. And like you said, you cannot text me back. And I text this woman what seems to be a diary. And I'm going, I am doing this and I'm doing that. And I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to try this. Oh, never mind. I already figured it out. And it was just the fact that I told her about it. The fact that I told you my thought process helps me figure it out. It's just like I just want someone to listen to me, and you're there. And then when you come back, you're like, when you're able to get your text messages because you have a real job and not a kid job like what I have. You have an adult job.
A
Then you
kid, you
cannot
have
be
a
on the
kid
phone.
job.
I have a kid job.
Oh my goodness.
I, um so when you're able to get back and text, it's it doesn't matter if you text back or not. It's so great. I'm so grateful that you're there and that I can talk to you about things that nothing to do with art, and just have someone in your corner. And that's lovely. So I'm very, very grateful for you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that was my last one too. Same.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, just to think from where you contacted me originally, didn't know who you were. to go
Sarah,
to
thanks
go
for being
from
my
that, you call me
friend.
the wrong name. But even from that day, we've always kept in contact, like
Yeah.
continuously, like every day, almost every day. And yeah, I don't know what I'd do without you.
Yeah, same here. This, oh gosh.
But
T,
yeah,
be brave for 15 seconds. I walked
yeah,
up to this woman who was sitting at a different table in a conference, and I just said, "Are you Sarah?" Just
I can be.
don't worry about looking stupid. Don't worry about sounding like an idiot. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
You never know what will come out of this. And trust me, if you think you sounded like an idiot in a conference or in a meeting or in a phone call or anything, and you're like, I shouldn't have said that because, we all do that. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that. The people on the other side already forgot about you as soon as they hung up. So don't worry about it. It's a bigger deal in your head than it is
Oh
out.
yeah. Yeah,
Be
most
brave.
definitely.
Go find your buddy. Go find the person that you're going to be so grateful for 6 years later. What are we? Did we meet in 2019? I think it was 2019. Yes.
I think it was 18.
Was it 18? I have
Maybe it
there's
was 19.
it
Yeah,
was
I don't
19
know.
because I went to that my first workshop at September 21, 2018 because I have that note that
Oh,
says
okay, yeah, it was
don't
2019
forget it
then.
started.
Yeah.
20, 21, 22, 23. I'm using my fingers, people.
Wait,
19,
no, it
20,
was 'cause
5 years.
what year was it for the conference that got canceled for COVID?
2020.
Was that 2020? Okay.
Yeah. So
Then yeah, it was
2019.
2019. Okay.
So we've
So
known each
five
other for
years.
five
We're at
years.
our 5-year anniversary. Yay.
This is lovely. So I'm glad that we get to share what we're grateful for, what you're thankful for. Find the stuff, even if you're in the ugly middle of things. If you're in the ugly middle of your career, in the ugly middle of a relationship, the ugly middle of an illustration, the ugly middle of whatever it is you're trying to do in your life, keep going. Keep
Yeah.
going because it gets better on the other side. Be brave. Trust the process. Trust that everything is going to work out and get to the other side. That's it. That's your only job. Get to the next day. Get to the next day. And I made Sunny cry.
Yeah.
And I was
I'm fine. I'm fine.
all right. All right. These are happy tears. So we're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you everyone for listening and sticking through another year with us. And hopefully you can find something to be thankful for.
Bye.
Bye.